So this is a video that I created with the AI agent that I set up in one prompt using Claude Code. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I did it. And the only thing that you're going to need is an 11 Labs account, a Gemini API key, and Claude Code. And you can set up this same framework in less than 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
The first step of this workflow is basically creating our project. So right now I'm in my IDE of choice. This is VS Codium. It's like pretty similar to VS Code, but you can use any IDE. And if you don't have an IDE, you don't know what an IDE is. It's an integrated development environment, and it's basically just how you open folders. So what we're going to do is we're going to click open, and then we're going to click new folder, and then we're going to call this shorts creator, and we're going to go ahead and create it. We're going to trust the authors because we are the author. And right now we are inside of this folder that we just created. So what we're going to do is we're going to on Mac is double click. Not exactly sure what it would be on Windows, but basically you just need to double click or whatever and create a new file. And we're going to call that new file .env. And after we have this .env file, this is basically the only thing that we need to manually create. And we don't even necessarily manually have to create it. Claude could create it, but it's more secure if we just create it ourselves. So now that we have the .env file, we just need 2 keys. So what you would do is you basically just search 11 labs 11 labs API, and then you go to that and you create an account if you didn't have one. But if you do have an account, then you go down on this left menu, you click API keys, and then over on the right you click create a new key. As you guys could see, I just created a key today when I was going through making the project to test that everything worked properly. So I already have a key. But you just go ahead and make a key. So I already have a key, but you would just go ahead and make a key if you didn't have one, and then copy that key. And then over here, we're going to type in this .env file, we're going to type 11 labs API key. And it's just good to use this all caps _ format because that's what the AI agent is going to look for. Basically, this is like standard naming convention. So just make sure that you name your .env files in this format. Then we'll go ahead and paste our 11 labs API key, and that's one out the way. For the next one, you basically just go to Google AI Studio. You probably have a Google account, so you could just log in with that and log into your studio account. And then you would need to basically create a new API key. And basically it would be a pretty simple setup for you. So once you had your Google API key, we basically go back here and we type Gemini API key equals, and then we go ahead and paste our Gemini key, and then we go ahead and hit Command Save or Control Save, and now we have our .env file. So next we need to open Claude Code. So, if you don't have Claude Code set up, there's a bunch of tutorials out there. You can use it in the terminal, or you can use the sidebar widget, which will make it pop up on the side of the screen. I don't have it installed right now, but that's the easier way of the two. But using the terminal is pretty easy as well. So in the terminal, we're just going to type Claude. We're basically just going to give our Claude this prompt. If you want this particular prompt, it's going to be in the free school community. That'll be in the description. But once you have access to this prompt, you'll literally just paste it. And let me go ahead and read out some of the prompt. It's basically just saying the purpose of this project is to create short form video from audio transcripts. Is letting it know that we have 11 labs and Gemini API keys. We're also going to have it download a software called Hyperframes, which is for editing. And then we're also going to have an option where it can download YouTube videos using YTDLP. And then it's going to take audio files. It's going to transcribe them with 11 labs. It's going to generate images for this particular implementation. We're generating anime style characters and settings. I'm giving it a color palette that I like. You can switch this out with whatever color palette you want. And we let it know that human skin tones are also okay. And the video needs to be 9:16. And it's going to have a title at the top, and it's going to have captions at the bottom. So once we have that prompt, we can go ahead and paste that into Claude. And then once we hit enter, it's basically going to create a project for us. So if we look over here in the menu, we'll start to see some more files pop up here and there. So if we look at the console, it's read our keys. It's not going to reveal them in the chat, which is why we created the .env file directly. Right now it's cloning a directory, which is probably the Hyperframes directory, so that it can edit the videos. All right, so we can just see that our project was updated. We now have an assets folder, we have an audio folder, we have a config folder, and we have an output folder and a source folder. And all these folders are empty. Now we can see we have some node modules. Node modules are basically they're like software packages that we download so that our agent can run these software packages to do what we want it to do as far as creating these videos. And then assets, this is where fonts is going to go. Audio, this is where the audio transcripts that we're uploading for our file to create shorts with. This is where those MP3s will go. So right here, we can see that our two API keys are working properly. 11 Labs Scribe is providing timestamps, and Gemini is generating images. So now if we look at assets, we can see it's added a couple of fonts, and these are going to be used to create our captions. Inside of our config, we basically have a color palette, we have an image size layout, and we have specifications as far as the title, captions, scenes, the Ken Burns details, and then the different models that we're using. And inside of our source file, we basically have a couple files that allow us to download YouTube videos so we can get the MP3s. We have a file to create images using our Gemini API key. We have a library file, which is basically just loading, I believe loading MP3 files. but you really don't need to understand too much what the source files actually do. It's good to have a high level understanding, but basically they're just tools to help create the videos. This is creating the captions. So it's going to take like the outputs from the 11 Labs transcription, and then it's going to build captions. And then this transcribe is basically just calling the 11 Labs endpoint and transcribing our videos to get back full length transcripts with timestamps. So the project just added a file called plan, which has some of the functions like creating captions, building scenes, but it also has basically the directions as far as creating the images. So we can see it's generating the prompt based on our palette colors, and it's calling Gemini to create these images, and it's directing the scenes. And if you look at the bottom, it's testing out our flow. It's doing an end-to-end test, creating a realistic narration. And it just says all the checks passed. So right now we can see that it's doing a quick test. These are some of the images that it's creating. So as you can see, we have the anime style. It looks like it's decided to make some sort of test about a war scene. But the images all look pretty good, pretty crisp. If we click on this, I'm not sure if you guys can hear this.
In 1945, a Japanese soldier named Hiroo Onoda was sent to a small island in the Philippines. His orders were simple.
So it basically generated a story about a Japanese soldier in the Philippines, and it created some matching images that go along with it. And if we give it a little bit, it should have an output video for us, so that we can see how this whole flow is working. All right, so now the workflow is done. It's tested both videos. Right now I'm in the first video output, but if we go to the second one, we have this one as well. If we play.
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool.
It's kind of a more random video.
In 1945, a Japanese soldier named Hiroo Onoda was sent to a small island in the Philippines. His orders were simple: never surrender, never take your own life. Hold this island until we return for you. The war ended 6 months later, but
very detailed illustrations. Follow the color scheme well. We have captions. We have our title. Title could be slightly larger, but everything's working good.
Nobody told Onoda. He retreated into the jungle with 3 other men. They lived on stolen rice and green bananas.
As far as the pipeline, it's basically Claude Code is finished, so it's basically created an entire project, an entire workflow that just pumps out shorts in the matter of minutes. As far as the actual steps, it takes in the audio, it transcribes it, it plans out the different segments, it creates the images using Gemini, it composes the images, creates a hyperframes project, and then it uses Ken Burns crossfades, and then it adds a title and captions as well as audio. And then there's also a check step where it verifies that what it produced is good. And then it says there's a little bit of palette drift. I'm not really too pressed about the palette. If you had like a specific app and you had specific colors, then you could tell it to be more strict with its generation. But these are pretty quality videos. So far we just let it test random videos. I'm going to actually test a video of my own, and we'll see what it comes up with. Right now I just copied a short. This is like a Alex Hormozy motivational type of video, which should have some good images that it creates. But we'll see if it can literally just run this workflow from just posting a link. It should be able to. So as we can see, it just ran YTDOP. It's identified the video. I believe is right now it's downloading the video. And next it's going to run the audio through 11 Labs and then create some images and put the video together. Now we can see it has its title, it has its scenes planned out, it knows what captions it wants to emphasize in the titles, and it's just passed the first check and it's rendering the video. Okay, so it just finished up. It's giving us a link, but if we just go over here to output, we click on this Alex Hormozy, here it is right here. And I guess it titled it Forcing Your Own Leverage. So let's
so much of the beginning is literally burning the one thing you have, which is time, because you have no leverage. You don't have the money to pay other people to help you. No one can work out for you. Doesn't matter how much money you have. No one can learn skills for you. It feels so painful because you're like, you look around to see who can help you and then you're like, fuck, it's me again. The skills that you develop along the way, like Steve Jobs learning calligraphy that then became Apple fonts that, you know, transformed how we type. Those early days, that little trench winning in the weeds, oftentimes gives you these huge advantages later on because you have more context than anyone else. And so rather than lament them and hate the fact that you're going through it, remembering that these will be arrows that you put in the quiver that you're going to be using to slay the future bigger dragons, expecting it to be easy is what makes it much harder than it ever is.
So came out pretty good. That's pretty much it. We literally just gave it a couple of API keys and a prompt, and now we have something that can literally generate as many shorts as we want, as much audio as we have. You could make it a full process where you create AI voiceovers as well, but just know that those videos typically won't perform as well as if you use like real human voiceovers or like clips like these and you just add images over them. That's basically how you set up a flow to create shorts using a couple of API keys and Claude Code.